Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers to episode 7. Jesus Christ.
Right? All right, tonight's a chill night. I can dig that, Brandon. That was a great idea. Let's just have a fucking chill conversation and see where it takes us. You know, by the end of this, it's going to be alarm bells going off. We're going to be screaming. It's going to be amazing. We're like, let's just have a chill, gentlemanly conversation. By the end, we're going to be having swords somehow through. I don't even know how. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited. Everybody get excited. Maya's excited. I think she already ate.
I wonder how many beers I'm going to have before this is over.
You know what? As many as you want. You know? No, you're an adult now.
Live your best life.
You had a 32nd birthday, buddy. You had a birthday.
Yeah. Is that 32? No, that's not 32s.
It wasn't 32?
No, it is 32. I had a moment.
I was like, pretty sure that he said 32. Either somebody couldn't find the right candle or you turned 32. That's the only options here. Both are acceptable, but like, I'm pretty sure. All right, so how was your birthday?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, dude, you know, okay, they don't know. My birthday was supposed to be like this big celebration. It was supposed to be like birthday love, birthday everything. And I have a pontoon boat. So this whole situation, yeah? As I'm driving to the boat, I'm about 2 minutes out. My dad's calling. And I'm kind of in a really good mood. I had whiskey, I had a really good breakfast. And I was like, what the hell you want? Yeah. And as I'm asking him this question, he's like, your aunt passed away. And so it literally just was like, and dark cloud, you know? Got to the boating place, got down to the counter where I check in at, and the lady there, she's like, "Hun, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I lost in the family." So then she's like, "Well, I hope the lake gives you some hope and gives you some kind of, you know, release, if you will." Well, gorgeous day on the lake. I mean, I've got 8 friends of mine on the boat with me. We go around Lake Big Bear. The water's incredible. The mountains are incredible. The sky's incredible, but I cannot shake the heaviness and the reality that, like, Mom passed away, right? Right. So then we get back, we dock or whatever, and it was funny because the lady wasn't at the main place that I checked in at. And I was like, I gotta use the restroom. So like, well, there's another building up top. So I go up top and I walk in the shop to go ask where the restrooms are. And the lady's there. And she's talking to a coworker about me. And she's like, "Oh, sweetie, how was it? Did you get what you needed? Was the lake everything you needed?" And mind you, we're in the middle of this pandemic, but I'm like broken. She can see that I'm broken. And she's just like, she's like, I don't even care. She comes around the counter, arms wide open, and just grabs me up. You know, she's got to be like mid-50s. Yeah. This is really warm, like, I'm here for you hug. And we both start crying in this freaking boat shop, you know? And so it definitely like shifted the energy of 32. I'm very, very grateful and very blessed to have had that kind of birthday experience in the mountains, you know, to get away for a bit. Yeah. But I definitely feel like that shifted the overall experience where today I feel somewhat normal. This is a week later. Yeah. So yeah.
So were you two close, you and your aunt? Is that?
No, we weren't that close. I think what hit me is my dad. My dad is close to her, and he's broken.
Okay, I see.
So to hear him broken is hard.
Of course.
He sounded more broken with her than he did with my grandfather passing away.
Ah, okay.
So I'm empathetic in that way. I feel. Yeah. And then we start talking about insurance and wills and where to find his at and everything. And it's just been like, I'm not ready for any of this, but I don't think he is either. And no one was ready for her. They've been calling her for 4 days. She wasn't answering. So my cousin decided, because of quarantine, to drive over there. Yeah. And she found her mom.
Oof.
Yeah. So that's why I needed this. I needed like my boys. I needed like last. I needed like
Well,
not that.
I'll tell you this, we got you there. We are pretty good at those things. Check this out. I don't have a joke, but I figured maybe that would make us laugh if I seemed like a kid, but I didn't have like a punchline. So, you know, happy birthday. On the other side of that, how beautiful that what you'll remember, hopefully down the road, is not necessarily just your aunt's passing, but the beauty that it brought out of a total stranger in the middle of a place you had never been, who, as silly as it may sound, her risk to reward ratio for coming out and hugging you and giving you that love was literally 50-50. Whether you respond, whether you were, as much as we hate to say this word right now, infected, like, who knows?
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't care. He needs love. That's beautiful. I hope that's for somebody who spends a life focusing on love. That's a beautiful, beautiful blessing to go into year 32 with, man.
Oh, dude, it melted the shit out of me.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Mama Prattes, I'm sorry for my mouth. I have a terrible mouth.
She's all right. She's
all right.
She's calm. Like, she's said worse than any of us will ever think. So it's okay, Mom. I understand that you're gonna pretend that that's not true, but it is.
We've become friends, by the way.
I believe it. I 100% believe it. I love that. Well, she just absolutely loves you. So, Jon, tell us about your new place, man. We were kind of talking about it a little bit before we did the cheers and started this whole official, but like, what's up? How is it?
It's been amazing. Different side of town. I was in Valley in Studio City last like 9 years, and then coming here. I'm in West Hollywood now, right by Beverly Hills, and it's like where it's interesting because I do so much work and everything, and a lot of you get 5 minutes. That's been a nice perk. And the other big thing I kind of was mentioning before, I always lived with a bunch of guys most of my life, and now I moved in with 2 women, and it's amazing the conversations. It's much more in depth. It's kind of like what we talk about. Like, a lot of the guys I used to live with, we didn't have these kind of conversations. We didn't talk about like pain and like all these struggle and all that stuff. It was very either surface or it was very not necessarily toxic masculine, but old school masculine. It was like, oh, you just need to get over it. You just need to like don't worry about that. Whereas like living with 2 women and like having these conversations and also hearing female perspective on a lot of topics that we've talked about, and they've seen a couple episodes where I've been able to hear their point of views on things and being able to run things by them and get a female perspective on things. It's been really, really rad. And it's been a great change. I knew that life was giving me a big change come February. And the last couple of months has brought me here where I'm like, okay, now all that tumultuous, thank you. All that change basically led to this place that I'm like, okay, it all makes sense.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so it's been really, really good, and amazing background and everything like that, and just as like the outdoor area and everything. Life is good right now. Life is in a good place. I'm getting more grounded. That's where I want to be.
I love that. I feel like with what you just said, it's the same thing. Like every time we ever hang up, I immediately spend the next hour talking to Ange. You know what I mean? Like, just inevitably. And especially when she doesn't hear the conversations, because there's only been 1 or 2 episodes where she's been like, sitting in the living room playing with the girls or doing something. Most of the time she's like, so what did you guys talk about? What were the big points that you remember? And it's just interesting that you said, you're listening to, you're talking to your roommates and you're getting a brand new perspective, getting that fresh perspective. It'd be an interesting episode down the road to see if having your roommates involved in an episode or having Ange involved in an episode, like having those people that influence us in such a large way, and having them as a part of the episode to see, I mean, to really kind of, for lack of a better term, test ourselves. Like what when challenged by somebody other than ourselves, how do we respond? I think that might be interesting. I would love to have a conversation with your roommates. You know what I mean? Like,
You got my vote.
yeah, right. I dig it.
You
All right,
got my
so
vote,
let's
yeah.
throw that into the future. Brandon, can we please start with question number 1 from you? Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to pin myself up here. Brandon had an amazing idea for this week,
Oh, come on.
where we would have a more laid back conversation, but where he would pitch, where each of us had asked each other 3 questions. And they're pretty chill, but I feel like because it's us, like it's inevitable that we're going to end up on some kind of roller coaster of a conversation. So Brandon, if you could lead out with question number 1, where are we going?
I think I can't remember because I can't see it and the beer's hitting. I think my first one was, when was your first fight?
All right.
Fist fight, not verbal fight.
Yeah.
Like your first, like, fisticuff.
Fisticuffs. Obviously. Fisticuffs. You know what? I'll jump on this. So my first fight was, oh man, my mom's gonna be upset. My first fight was, I was up at my dad's house, and my brothers used to take me everywhere with them. And one of my brothers was really good friends with this kid in the neighborhood being like, there's a cabin in the woods here, and then like half a mile down the road, there's another house, and then a mile away from that, like, you know, dirt roads, nothing was paved. And he had that friend of my brother, Matt, had a little brother who was about my age. And I didn't like that motherfucker. We just didn't get along.
Oh, shit.
And I want to say his name was Bo. And,
Probably.
And my brother, Matt, one day we were having an argument, and we were just like, and, you know, being fucking assholes. And Matt and Austin, I don't know if that was his name. I feel like it was something like that. We're like, well, y'all just need to fight. It was very backwoods Georgia. It's like, fuck it, y'all. Y'all just need to fight. That's the only way you're going to get this out. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And we went at it in the front yard. I mean, like, hard. And I remember that was the first time I got punched in the face. And I was, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, like somewhere around that age. And I remember I got clocked one time where I just ended up like on my back, like, whoa, time, car. And then it was like, all right, game on, fuck it. And like, we had a full on like go. And at the end of it, they were like, you feel better? And I remember saying like, yeah, and thinking, nope. Like, I'm still mad. Like, I still wanted to fight, but I was tired of getting hit in the face. So there was this like weird thing where they were like, you're done fighting. And they pulled us apart, but neither one of us had really come to an agreement. So speaking of fighting, the girls are like going in on each other. And this is my favorite when they do this.
Yeah.
Because
They heard.
playing
They
with
felt
each
it from
other.
dad.
But Missy is such an asshole. Like she's our older one, but she's 8 pounds, the little Maltese, and she is a monster. Maya is a little like pit lab mix, about 35, 40 pounds, doesn't understand that she's actually bigger than Missy. And so they'll go at it and they're evenly matched. It's ridiculous. So either way, that's my story. Who's next?
Brandon?
I'll go.
Yeah.
Here's where I thought your story was going, Colt. You said your older brother and you. And I was like, yes, this is the thing, because I've done this too. I think I was way younger than you. Maybe 4, 5.
Oh.
My older brother's 3 years older than me, so he was about your age when he went to go. But there was a kid and him and his brother, we played together a lot, right? And I think one day there was a disagreement that just got a little rowdy, and it went from like, no, it's ours, to like a push, and that push turned into a shove, and then that shove turned into like me sitting next to my older brother, wondering like, what the fuck is he about to do? So then he like starts punching this kid, but then like the kid's younger brother's like starting to like jump in. So I remember grabbing the little kid's shirt that's about my age, and I'm just like, get off my brother, get off my brother. But we're all fighting this big ass field, and there's no parents around for some reason. So now you got 2-on-2. But I knew this is when it took a turn, because I remember I ran out of moves, because I was too young to really comprehend what the fuck I was doing. So I bit the kid in the stomach, and he was like,
I'm sorry, you bit him in the stomach. I just want to be clear.
Like, locked in, dude. I had nothing else. I'd never forget this moment, because that kid fucking screamed so hard, and that was the end of the fight. That's
rightfully so. Thank God. Thank God. Because I'll tell you this, I've never been in a fight where stomach biting was accepted. It's not in the UFC. Guess what? You bite someone's belly, the ref calls it. Like, it's over. Wow. All right. So Brandon goes full tilt, everybody.
Yeah.
Just heads
for
up.
For my family.
Yeah.
You know? Dude, we got our asses beat so bad when we got home.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
Oh, it was the worst. I remember standing in the kids, because we were at their house when we got to the fight. So we had to go into their house and sit and wait for our parents to come to their house. Yeah. And then get yelled at, and then go home, and then get spanked.
Get yelled at there, of course.
Yeah.
It only makes sense. All right, leg. John, what do you got?
The best part of this episode is that leg.
Yeah.
Literally. In no other episode has Colt's legs been featured, but today, in those jeans, it's perfect.
Honestly,
Sponsored
I wasn't wearing
whatever.
jeans when I started. That's the worst. You're lucky I put the jeans on.
Hey, now.
Otherwise, it'd just be big, hairy, bare-ass leg.
There you go.
Just a shirt. You can't see anything else. I know what my frame is. Why does this keep unplugging? Oh, my God. Ah.
This may become my favorite episode. Hands down.
I mean, this is ridiculous. My computer needs to be plugged in, obviously, to a charger, because I didn't charge it before, because who does that? Who's responsible? That's ridiculous.
John, I'm ready for yours, dude.
John, I can't wait to hear your story.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. When I was a kid, I remember my brother and I, my first real fight. So before, like a preface of the real fight, my brother and I got in a fight one time, and the first time he swung at me, almost hit me in the face. It clipped the side of my face, and it didn't really hit hard. But I just remembered thinking that would have sucked if that actually landed. So I was always like, I don't want to get in fights. That shit, I feel like that's gonna hurt a lot. Not like with words, or I remember someone thinking me, it was just like, fight. I'm like, I'm fighting. And they're like, all right, well, you have to learn how to disable a fight. And he taught me, he's like, if you want to basically disable a fight, you have to punch them hard enough in the shoulder, or you have to punch them in the knee. So either they can't hit you as hard, or they can't come after you. They fall to the ground with them in the knee. So the first real fight that I knew this guy was gonna kick my ass. This guy was much bigger than me. I'm like, it's gonna hurt. So he was obviously, he knew he was bigger than me. I wasn't gonna be able to do much. So he did the like macho thing where he put his hands down. He said, go ahead, hit me. So I just went down and just side punched him in the side of the knee, and he went down. And he was like, what the fuck? Who the hell punches in the knee?
That's like, such a Fight Club move.
I started walking away.
Here. Fuck, man. Like,
I couldn't get up. It hit him so hard in the knee that he was just down. And I was like, this is not happening. Fight's not happening. I was disabling fights because like, I'm not
fighting you. Wow. Oh my God. Whoa. I'm just so happy that all of our first fights.
I've been able to talk myself out of almost every single fight. I don't think I've been able to act in a fight because I've either been able to convince them of other ways of dealing with it, or I used to be very good with my words. And so I'm surprised I didn't get my ass kicked more, because I would basically get someone to the point, be able to verbally fight in such a way where the person wanted to walk away. Because I was like touching parts of like their personal life that like, I don't want to deal with this. So I luckily.
You're just gonna annoy them to death. They're not into fighting anymore because they're like, I will talk at you. I'll talk to you so good.
No. I'm like, when my buddy and I, we knew we were like, we could, if we wanted to, we could be real big assholes. And there was a time where my buddy and I were in an argument. This was like my best friend. I in the schoolyard got in an argument with each other, and we're like arguing with each other. And this older class kid comes with his friends to start picking on us, and it looked like he wanted to impress his friends. So he starts like pushing us. And he and I are trying to deal with something. We're like, dude, not right now. And this guy's like, kill me when I'm gonna fucking bully you. And we're like, dude, just leave us alone. Kept pushing us. And finally, my buddy and I looked at each other. We're like, let's pause on this. Let's deal with this. And we looked at him, and we knew stuff about his personal life. Verbally beat him up to the point that he started crying in front of his friends and ran away. And we both looked at each other and were like, let's never do that again. Like that. We should have done that.
So much of what just happened taught us some lessons. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you learned lessons from it. I'm glad you didn't just be like, that was effective. We should do this as a business plan now. Like, thank God you at least were like, wow, we're pretty big assholes for children. Like,
but we never got asked it.
Good for you. I can't say that worked for me.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask my favorite question, just because I'm interested in it. Favorite movie? Brandon.
Gladiator.
Gladiator. Okay, I can understand that. Watched that recently. Again.
Love that movie, dude.
Okay.
Love it.
Dig it. You want to go nerd out on it, or you want to just leave it at that?
I mean, are we?
Well, why else are we talking about it?
I just think, dude, I remember when I saw it for the first time, I was, my mom and I we were traveling. We were at a friend's house on the couch. And I think I fell asleep and they had watched it already. So the DVD screen, the menu was up.
Okay.
And all I saw was like these Roman arenas for the gladiators, and like the roses were falling and that like music was playing. And I was like, what is this? What is this? So then I hit play, and it's like 2 a.m. in the morning, and I'm in like the 6th grade. And I fell in love with like this story of like Russell Crowe's character Maximus just being this like noble badass. Like the most noble badass to ever touch the screen. Yeah. Like there's never been a more noble badass. People can argue Braveheart, sure. You can argue Braveheart, right? Yeah. But he's not Maximus. Like
he doesn't have the name Maximus. William Wallace. Okay, Waldo. Yeah. How about flip that W upside down?
Maximus.
I see what you're saying.
Go Colt. That was so good, you got some snot out of me. But anyway, so there was this moment though, I think, and when he was like, "Are you entertained?" And I felt like him for a second. Like I really felt like I've had people watch my life, and I'm like, dude, I've done everything you've ever wanted. You know, like, are you not entertained yet? That guy's dead. That person's dead. That person's dead. I'm still standing. You're all clapping and cheering from the safety of your seats. And here I am, still the man in the arena, fighting for my life. Like, are you not entertained? And that's really when I resonated with the movie. I mean, I don't know, at this point, if you haven't seen the movie, his death to me is so symbolic. Like, that movie couldn't have ended any other way.
Yeah, no, it has to. Absolutely.
He wanted to be with his family more than anything in the world. He wanted to be with his family, and that's how he got there.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, Gladiator for me.
I dig it. I like the reference to the Invictus quote as well. Very
useful. Yeah.
That's a very, very good quote. John, what's up with you? What do you got?
I'm a transporter.
The Transporter.
I can never see that.
With the knowledge of why the Transporter is the best movie. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've always loved cars and I love driving, but I remember when I first watched that movie, like, is that a job? Like, just give me something and I can go drive. And I like that. I can pay for that, and I love that idea. And I mean,
Yeah,
especially
it's Uber. Nobody knows that's how I started.
yeah.
A lot of people don't know. That's how Uber started, is the transporter.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of my favorite lines, like for years, that and funny because I watched the movie. There's a line where he's washing his car, and the officer comes up, and he's like, "Why do you care so much about keeping your car so clean?" He's just like, "The way a man treats his car is he treats himself." And I remember that moment. I paused the movie, and I went out and looked at my car. And it was all dirty. I had been wearing like still pajamas. Looked around my room, and I was like, "No, I have all my shit a mess." So I literally cleaned up my whole room, took my car, got a car wash, came back, and then pressed play and continued the movie.
I love that.
Stuck with me. It's just like the way it's not. I mean, he says it later in the movie. It's like the outer of the car is basically the external image that you give to the world, and the inside of the car is the inner image that you have with yourself in the mirror. And it just always stuck with me. And I've loved driving, and the whole idea of if I could not care about doing something illegal, I would transport the hell out of this. Give me a fast car and I'll go around and be a happy person.
I love it. I love so much too the fact that you took the transporter and turned it into like a philosophical bent on who you were. And that's like, let's be honest, for most of us, the reason that we love our favorite movies is because in some way it's a mirror that we feel about ourselves. I absolutely love Lethal Weapon, the original. I think it's absolutely incredible as a testament to what knowing yourself very truly and not asking permission from anybody else, like what that is. I dig that. But the absolute best movie of all time, and I apologize that you guys are wrong, but it's Point Break. The original Point Break.
No, I've never seen it.
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What?
Never seen it.
Oh God. Okay. Well, guys, the Refinery episode 7 has been great, but we have to quit because Brandon has to go watch Point Break. What the fuck, man? How dare you? Why would you not just lie to me? That's just rude. Thank you, Maya. She's coming to my aid. So God knows I am a huge Patrick Swayze fan. I am on record talking about it a lot. I am a huge Patrick Swayze fan, not just in Dirty Dancing, not just in Ghost, not just in Roadhouse, but most of all, Point Break. Rent it tonight. You've got chips and Skittles and fucking beer. Rent it and watch it. Trust me.
Yes.
It is incredible on so many levels, not just like some of the spirituality and the beauty of what it gets into, but what it does is it's a person who is so in tune with themselves that they disregard everything else. And I mean on both sides of the movie. They disregard the rules of anything else about life, of nature, of anything. They respect nature above all else, but the world of man is malleable. Right and wrong does not mean legal and illegal, right? These things are permeable. So I dig that movie for so many reasons. Not to mention it also has skydiving and surfing and like guns and robberies, and it's just fucking awesome. It's like Heat with surfing. It's fucking awesome, and it's got Patrick Swayze in what I think is genuinely his best role ever. And Keanu Reeves, so it's like double trouble.
When did you first see it?
Couldn't even tell you. I mean, it was one of my first movie memories that I remember. I mean, it's right up there with like the first time I saw the Thriller video or West Side Story or like things that I watched early on that my mom or like in that case my dad used to watch that. My dad's obsessed because my dad's a skydive master, a master diver. So he would. Like we would go up to the go up to the drop zone all the time, and like he would do jumps all day, and like I would hang out and watch people pack chutes, help people pack chutes, and like just hang out there in the drop zone. At 18, my brothers, or both of my brothers, for their 18th birthdays, they went and did their first jump, and like that was just like a big thing in our family. I ran a rock climbing wall in college. My dad is big into rock climbing. I'm big into rock climbing. And all of those, just that kind of lifestyle, that's all a part of it. I love surfing. My buddy Colt takes me surfing all the time. Like, well, Colt, Jon, who we talked about, like, he's the one who in LA, like, takes me surfing. You know, we hang out and do that. Like, and that movie, just when you watch it, you'll see and you'll understand there's some really beautiful references to spirituality, to the Bodhisattva, to religions around the world, and to how the world is encompassed within that, how the concept of the world, or the concept of religion, kind of encompasses nature and what we want so much from that, and how to humanize that. It's really beautiful. I just absolutely fucking love it. And it's awesome. So next question. Jon, you haven't asked one official yet. So I'm going to bring you up.
Yeah, I'm going to slightly change one of the questions I was mentioning is, what is one of the spontaneous trips that you've had that you were so happy turned out how it did?
Just to be clear, because mine got a little muddled there. Say it one more time.
What's a spontaneous trip that you kind of had to wing it and just like amazing adventure or amazing experience?
What you got, Brandon? I see you over there looking around, breathing heavy.
Yeah. Shit.
Spit it out. You got it.
Shut up. I went to the poppy fields about 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I went to the poppy fields. About 2 months ago. It was spontaneous. It was random. Don't look at me. Look away. Look away. Look somewhere else. Thank you. And the drive ended up being absolutely stunning. We were going to take the freeway. We didn't. And so there was these side roads that went through the mountains that took us down into this little country town that was lined with these oak trees that shot us out into this little back road. The back road literally winded around until it revealed the poppy fields. So that was my spontaneous trip.
Nice, dude. 2 months ago.
That's what's up.
Cool. Jon?
You know, I was thinking that a couple that came to mind, but my favorite one was last year. I knew I was supposed to go for 3 weeks to Europe, and it was the outside for work, and I was gonna have a free week in the middle. And then about a week and a half before I was supposed to go, the first week of work got canceled, and so I already had my ticket. And so that work was supposed to pay for hotels and all that stuff had been taken care of. So when I heard it got canceled, I'm like, screw it, I'm just gonna go to Europe. I was just like, and then I had worked somewhere the week prior. I didn't even plan anything. And it was the day before I'm supposed to fly out. I was like, I don't even want to stay tomorrow night. So I quickly took up an Airbnb for at least one night. I was like, I'll just figure it out. And went to Europe before I had to be in Spain for work. The craziest part is that my roommate hit me the day before I'm about to fly out, and he's like, yo, I need to give you rent because I'm flying out town tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, cool, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm flying into Rome. And I was like, dude, I'm flying to Rome. So we actually in Europe, toured around. We met up in Kenya and then went to Venice and Como. We winged it for a couple days together, and he went one way and I went a different way.
Dude, that's crazy.
That was like a fun, yeah.
It's fucking awesome. I love that. Up shit. I lose you there. I got you back. So I will say there's a couple of favorites. I have two specific spontaneous trips. One was not extremely spontaneous, but it was in the grand scheme of things. The first time Angelina and I decided to pick up and leave Broadway and move to Las Vegas, that was the 5 best days of my life at that point. driving across the country, we drove. I remember where we went. The first night we just stopped in some small, like wherever we were off the highway in Pennsylvania. Then we went to Chicago so we could grab some pizza. Because we had both toured for years before we met on, national tours of Broadway shows. And so we both had places that we wanted to share with each other. And then we went to Oklahoma City, and then we went to Boulder. And I remember that morning we went to Snooze at 7 a.m. and they served us drinks. And I was like, how are you willing to do that? Oh, and then so we left there and we were going to go, to Vegas the next day. But leaving Boulder on the way to Vegas, you go through Vail. And we were both like, I swear to God, if I see a mountain, I see a ski mountain, because she's like a double black diamond competition skier from when she was a kid. And I had never skied before I met her family. But they put me in it pretty quick. And so we saw people skiing and we pulled over in Vail, and it was Easter. It was the night before Easter morning. And we pulled out in our jeans, and I bought some goggles, and we went skiing all day, got a hotel room, and like hung out. Obviously we had the girls with us. Like I was saying before we got on the call officially, Brandon was like, oh, the girls are with you. I know you're working right now. It's like, my family and I, all we do is go places together. We don't go anywhere without each other. So yeah, we have all been across the country 5 times at this point, but those 5 days, people were like, you drove across the country? That's such a long drive. I'm like, it wasn't long enough, like not nearly. Now, on a personal thing, I will say that when I was doing the Chorus Line tour, it was the Chorus Line tour, I was in Denver, again, let's talk about Denver. I was in Denver, and I wanted to buy a car. So I was on Craigslist, which was a thing, and I bought a 67 Sprint Mustang from a dude in a parking garage for a few $1,000s in cash. No bill of sale, or no, I had a bill of sale as a napkin, no plates. Found out the speedometer didn't work. The odometer didn't work. There was a hole in the passenger side floorboard so I could watch the road going by. Gas gauge didn't work. But I didn't care because I was like, it's a fucking Mustang and I want to own a Mustang. So I drove. Thank you so much. So I drove.
Cheers, Ange.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Ange. She said cheers. So I would drive the tour, and I drove to Vegas, and then it broke down halfway between Vegas and LA, and then I had myself towed 200 and something miles to LA, had the car fixed there, and I would drive up and down PC1 while we were touring. And somewhere along PC1, there is a nude beach. I didn't know that was what it was. I was just driving, and I used to pull over whenever I saw a pretty spot, and I'd walk across the highway like a normal human being does, apparently not. And I would just check shit out. And I saw people walking like between some rocks, and I was like, you ain't gonna walk between rocks alone. I'm gonna go with you. Like that's cool. And so I parked the car, got out, walked between the rocks. There were steps. I walked down this very long flight of steps, and I came out and everybody was naked and like butt ass naked. And I was just like, all right, I'm in a nude beach. Cool. And I love being naked. So I was like, great, this is fucking awesome. I'm in my element. And I just hung out at a nude beach, and it was awesome. That was a very nice, spontaneous trip that I took. So yeah, that. Yeah. Brandon, another question, please, if you will.
Most embarrassing moment on a date.
John,
You going back to back, Cole?
I can actually jump on this because I have a most. Huh?
Here we go. No. Get me, John.
So it's embarrassing in the moment, but it's actually by the end of the night, it's probably one of the best nights I've ever had. Because I was dating this girl, and we were supposed to go to this like cannabis event that her friend was putting on, and she gets an email the night before that's just
So
like
fucking LA. That's the most LA thing I've ever heard. My most embarrassing moment comes from a date that turned out to be amazing because I was going to a cannabis event. Did you hit a protest first? Like,
well, no, hold on. So she gets an email from her friend saying, hey, the theme is sensuality. So if you feel like coming in costume, feel free. So she's like, yo, the theme is sensuality, and we can go in costume. People are going in costume. I'm like,
sensuality.
people are actually going in costume, or is she trying to costume? And so I was just like, well, what the hell does costume, what does sensuality mean in costume? So the only thing I had a Santa onesie. She had a unicorn onesie. And so we're like, all right, that's our costume.
I think that sounds great.
John,
In
I'm
sketch
learning,
part of
baby, I'm
downtown.
learning.
No one is in no one is in ever in a Santa onesie, she was in a unicorn onesie with that screw it. Like, and I remember this. So we not.
John, I'm so sorry. I got to pause you. You keep freezing on my end, and all I heard over and over was Santa onesie, Santa onesie, Santa onesie, unicorn, sensual Santa. That was fantastic.
All right.
Continue, please. I'm so sorry to
Is it clear now? No.
I can hear you.
We show up to this event, sketch part of downtown.
Oh shit.
Oh no, not John.
Hold on. So here's the best part. So we obviously everyone is staring at us when we come in. We said, fuck it, let's have fun. Doesn't matter. So we're doing this whole thing, and we run into her friend who's running this party. She's like, she goes, you know what? I bet you think this. Is it free again? Good? Damn. No good.
I
gotta see Colt's face.
It's only when you get to like the best parts that it goes, her best friend said, and the key to life is like, I'm gonna have to overdub this later with a made-up story that fits this profile. I'm sorry, John. We gotta put you on hold. Brandon, start your story. We gotta push. Push Brandon. If it freezes, I'm calling it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what's crazy, dude? I'm asking this question and I don't have one.
I agree with that. That's why you looked at me and you were like, Colt, are you going to go back to back? I was like, I had an interview one time where I was talking. I'm proud of this, so I'm going to share it, and I'm not going to it's not a humble brag. It's like a genuine, I'm excited about this. I had an interview after I did Dirty Dancing with Esquire magazine, and they were talking to me and they said, what's your most embarrassing moment? And I was like, oh, I don't have one.
Yeah.
Like, what? And it wasn't that I've never been embarrassed. I just I don't remember any of those times. Like, they don't hold weight with me. And most of the time, and I've been embarrassed, I've been like, oh, fuck, man, that's crazy. Okay, next. And then I move on. But I don't remember that. Now, granted, if I had the first half of John's story, I may have remembered being embarrassed. Luckily, the entire audience of the Refinery is just imagining insanity right now. I'm imagining some kind of sex con with Santas and unicorns, like a fluffy event that John showed up at, where
that turned out amazing.
That turned out to be a great date, which, to be fair, a cannabis fluffy event with Santas and unicorns sounds like I'd probably pay money to go anyway. Like,
There's a sack, there's corn, there's weed.
there's all sorts of stuff. All right, John, you want to try again? Here we go. I'm going to pin you up. No, Annie's muted. Just no screen and muted. Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, better?
Yeah, better.
I don't know if I
Still
can
better.
do. All right, no, the funniest part though, we run into her friend, and her friend is like, "Oh, you guys came in costume. This is amazing. I bet you two would win the kissing contest." And I was like, "Hell no! Am I doing a kissing contest in a Santa onesie with someone in a unicorn onesie when no one's dressed up?" And the girl at the time, she's like, squeezing my hand. She's like, "I thought you want to get uncomfortable." And I'm like, "Fuck! All right, let's sign up for this thing." Long story short, not only did we win the kissing contest in front of like 300 people, but it's probably one of my favorite nights ever. It was completely of getting out of our comfort zones and just owning it, having fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go on and call you out, John. I love you, dude. I'm going to call you out. The fuck is wrong with you? Why would you not immediately be like, yes, I want to enter a kissing contest because I'm in a Santa onesie and she's in a unicorn onesie, and this is a
Oh, I can't wait.
and we're at a
I
cannabis
can't wait.
event. Guess
Give
what,
it to
everybody?
me. Give it to me, John.
Guess what? Everybody who's high out of their fucking balls wants to see is Santa kissing a unicorn on their first date. Okay? That wins the award no matter what. Like, you should have been like, I shouldn't enter this because it's not fair to everybody else. You can have us as an exhibit and you can just pay us the money. But like, that's not fair to everybody else who's going to enter this competition and think that they can just kiss their way out of Santa and a unicorn. Not going to happen.
Fair. It's fair.
Just saying.
Well, the funny thing is, I wanted to get it over with. So I told her, I'm like, we're going first. We're going to hurry up. Let's get this done with. I don't want to be on stage. So they were like, what song do you want? And we did.
There were songs?
And you get a song? Fuck. What kind of kissing contest is this?
Well, we just made out. Like, amazing makeout. The funniest part is the couple who went
I don't
after
think
us.
this is the party that you think it was. I'm not going to lie to you. I think you were at a different party. Was this at the Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas? Like, this seems like...
No, the funniest part, though, the couple who went after us were professional dancers and did their makeout while professionally dancing.
That's too much. It's too much.
Well, that's what ended up why we won.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. You know how hard it is to make out while doing a waltz?
Yo, they crushed it. That's the thing. We were both watching and we're like, there's no way we're winning to this.
They rehearsed this? This was like a number they performed?
Maybe. Because it was
improv something?
Oh, this call is amazing. I fucking love this.
Brandon, happy birthday, buddy. This is
Thank you.
present. So
I would have never known about waltz kissing.
how would you have
Colt
not
is
known
fucking-
about that? Well, now he's going to be on YouTube all night. Between Point Break and waltz kissing, Brandon's night is ruined. See you tomorrow. Jeez.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, other than the fact that even in a hotel, I still have a home-cooked meal of pasta that I have to go eat. There's the face. There's the face. I don't think we can end the call better than waltz kissing, Santa and unicorn kissing, and just, you know what? Cheers. Just cheers. Bring your chips up. Bring your snacks. Cheers to everything. Pocky chips. The only chips from Pocky.
Sponsor my man.
That's why I'm not a great spokesperson. I don't have great things yet. Fucking Crystal. We're good. If you are, want to stay on the channel, watch more Refinery videos, they're over here or over here. I don't, they're somewhere. Look, click on those. I'm going to put the subscribe button right here. There's another video over here. This is Brandon G. Alexander. This is Jon Gorski. This was one of my favorites. Brandon, great idea.